just ask anyone with mobile phones if you could switch them to off or on to silent, for the simple reason this microphone picks up everything that you say, and everybody in the bus gets to hear what you're talking about. You are welcome to talk among yourselves. Please bear in mind that the people in front of you or beside you may wish to hear what I'm trying to say, and anybody that doesn't abide by those rules gets chucked off, and I don't mean through the front door, straight over the side. Can you all hear me okay, folks? Downstairs, can you all hear me? Stamp your feet. That's it. That's great, because if you think I'm talking fast at the minute, just wait until we get going. So if you can't understand me at any time, just give me a little wave and I'll try and slow down a wee bit. I want to show you as much as I can around the city this morning, so please, if you do speak a wee bit too fast, give us a wee shout. Starting your tour off directly in front of us, you can see the Albert Clock, built in memory of Prince Albert, Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. There you can see Prince Albert 3/4 of the way up the clock, standing in the road off the border. The clock was built at a cost of originally £2,000. Quite recently we had to spend £2 million having the clock repinned at 175 feet under the ground. The clock tower itself stands at 115 feet high. It's also got 4 clock faces on it, none of which tell the right time, so it's pretty handy if you're late for work. You can see that the clock does lean, ladies and gentlemen, and you get a better view of it. We'll be coming back round in a few minutes' time. It leans back approximately 4 feet off the perpendicular. Just over the left hand side, the second building, this is Custom House and Custom Square. There at the bottom of the steps you can see the wee brass statue, and that's where the likes of the Reverend Ian Paisley started his legal career. Charles Lanyon was the architect. It's a name you're going to hear quite a bit this morning on your tour, as he did design most of the Victorian buildings in Belfast. Have a look at the bottom windows there, you can see the bars that go around them, and that's where Belfast's first jail used to be. Look back over your right shoulder there, you can see the lights, those are called the hecklers. During the summertime there, we could have open air concerts, and in the winter time we could freeze it over for ice skating events and stuff like that. So I'll tell you a wee bit more about, there's a river actually flows right underneath us here and out onto the River Lang. It's called the River Farset. I'll tell you a wee bit about that later on. Directly in front of the bus and down the left hand side you can see the big fish, the salmon of knowledge. Do come down and have a look at this wee fish after the tour. On the scales on the fish tell different stories about Belfast, and they say that when you kiss the fish, that you get knowledge. We're going to do that. I would say you need to kiss it quite a bit. He's all look rather thick to me. Don't worry, I am going to insult each and every one of you before you get off this bus this morning. Down to the left hand side you can see the Lagan Weir. This was installed at a cost of £14 million. You can see the gate that went in there. That constantly rotates up towards ships and other vessels. There is actually other gates. Do come down at night time when the lights from the Queen Elizabeth Bridge shine right across onto the footbridge there, and it does make rather quite a beautiful photograph when we stand in the middle of the footbridge there. The tide does actually go out. The stars we're getting coming back now here, West Light takes that. All the big stars coming back to Belfast. It's actually home for our ice hockey team. You can see how good we are. There's actually one ambulance sitting behind the wall down there. We were going to call them the ice hockey team the Belfast Bombers, but that didn't go down too well, so we opted for the Belfast Giants. The reason why they're Super League champions, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but I might as well. I can see any of the ice hockey managers on this morning. And most of the team are all Canadian. There's only a couple of local lads on it, so that's why they're Super League champions. We're going to stop here for a wee minute, folks, while we talk about this ship. When she was launched into the water, she actually displaced 66,000 tons of water. Now, we had the biggest shipyard in the world here, ladies and gentlemen. 35,000 men worked here, and a further 15,000 worldwide. So the inquest came back to Belfast to ask the people what happened. To tell you the truth, they really shouldn't have bothered, because here in Belfast, we won't take the blame for anything. It's called passing the buck, pass the blame on to somebody else. And they asked us what happened here, and our answer was Well, she was safe when she left our shores. We don't know what she did with her, and it's not our fault. She had a Scottish captain, an English captain, and a Scottish engineer, and a great big Canadian iceberg in her way. 310 metres high, and they can lift 800. There you can see what they're going to be working on at the minute is the wind farms. For those big wind farms, you can see it from the middle. That's what they're working on. Also down here we've got Shorts in Bombardier. Shorts very famous for its aircraft, the likes of the Shankill, water, and the most famous aircraft, the Harrier jump jet, of course, probably the take-off jump jet, which are all down here as well. So successful in the Gulf of Shorts. An awful lot of people on my tour always ask me what this big green dome thing is in front of the bus. Anybody like to have a wee guess? No, it's not a beehive. What size of bees do you think we'll have here in Belfast? No, it's not for nuclear bombs. We're bad enough with ordinary bombs. It's not very interesting. It shouldn't be taking any photographs. It's just for storing the salt for the roads for the winter time. That's all it's for. By being organisations, when we get back into Belfast, it's an awful lot easier for you people to understand in these different areas talking about those organisations. It does look like he's making rather a rude gesture with his right hand. Well, he's not, because just down the end of Prince Charles Way, over there on your right, there's a hotel, and he's actually ordering 2 pints of Guinness. So, if you just look down to your right hand side, Prince Charles Way is exactly 1 mile from the front gate right up to Stormont itself. Those green things that you can see on the left and right hand side, they're called trees. Don't laugh. There's one Martin and Guinness are actually sitting talking together. Now, if you had said that to anybody in Northern Ireland a year ago, you would have been laughed off this planet. What happened to the building during the Second World War? We actually had to, when the Germans were coming to bomb Belfast, we actually had to camouflage it. What did they do? They used bitumen and cow manure to cover it, and it took 7 years to clean the building. This is where George Best's funeral took place. There was over 100,000 people lined Prince Charles Way there to actually say farewell to George. Mo Moland, who was Secretary of State here in Northern Ireland, she actually threw the gates. Stormont was closed for a lot of years, open to us, the public. And to do that, she held open air concerts, the likes of Elton John, Rod Stewart, Pavarotti, A Sniper's Dream. And the Police, believe it or not, are going to play here later this year, and it's sold out already. 60,000 people are coming up here to cheer the Police, and it'll be the first time the Police have ever been cheered in Northern Ireland. And I am, of course, talking about the pop group, the Police. What do you think, folks? Did you like it? Yeah, well, actually, when Bill Clinton came here, on the left-hand side is the Crumlin Road Courthouse and the jail. Again, Charles Lanyon, the architect. If you look at the courthouse on the left, look up at the roof, you'll see the statue. You'll notice that the scales of justice are missing. 3 hours after the courthouse closed, somebody climbed up and stole the scales of justice. They were sold the next day on eBay. This was known as a deadlock court. What I mean by deadlock court is you didn't have a jury. You couldn't have a jury, it was too dangerous. So when the judge would have found the prisoner guilty, he would have sent them down. And when I say sent down, I mean sent down, because underneath us there's a tunnel which brings you out over to the Crumlin Road jail. If you look at the jail, you can see the wall here over to the right hand side. At the end of it you can see the sanger where the wardens would have watched the prisoners. The other side of that wall, that's the exercise yard. The long black piece that you can see along at the top of the windows at the top there, and the bars around it, that was B-wing, and that was for the Republican prisoners. At the far side of the jail you have A-wing, and that was for the prisoners. In the middle of the jail you had C and D-wing, which was for the ODCs. ODCs, ordinary decent criminals. My bus someday. Why is it you're allowed to knock down the linen mills, but you're not allowed to knock down the chimney stacks? It's not as if you're going to turn them into luxury 5-star apartments. All I can think of is for those things that we have in our pockets, our mobile phones. They're going to use it for mobile phone masts. You look over to the right, again down this street, you can see one of the peace lines, the big green fence that runs that divides between this side of the community and the other side of the community. This is Tennant Street that we're bringing you into. Halfway down Tennant Street, you're going to see a bit of what's going to be hitting the news headlines here, folks, possibly tonight. Tennant Street Police Station on the right hand side. You can see the blue boarding. They're actually starting to take down the glass boot wall, which is a very, very big step forward here in Belfast. As we go past, if the gates are open, have a look through the gates. You'll see how far back the police station actually is, and you'll see the glass wall and the hangar that the officers sitting in. Round it you can see the grills, and this is to stop RPG-7 attacks rocket propelled grenades. And I honestly think, folks, you're seeing a wee bit of history here. That wall is down. Not there. That wasn't it. Yesterday the wall was there, so that's what they're working on. Tourists think that the Shankill Road and the Falls Road are a million miles apart. They're not. We have a saying here in Belfast that is only a stone's throw away, and believe you me, we've had plenty of practice at it. This is where my name now changes from Alan to Billy, and whatever you do, don't be blessing yourselves on this road, or else we've all had it. This is where you're going to see the murals now, folks. Don't just look in front of you. Look to the left, right and behind you. Look over to your right, and on the left hand side of the road there you can see the red hand commandos. Thankfully all these organisations have put all their guns beyond use, and it's another great step for our peace process. Coming up in the left hand side there you can see the balaclava gunmen of the First Sea Company of the UBF. There you can see the names of some of the volunteers that actually lost their lives during the Troubles. Just on down front of the bus you can see the zebra crossing. To the left hand side you see the Port Credit Union. There's a little plaque in the middle here. This used to be Fidel's Fish and Chip Shop. It was in here 1:05 on a Saturday afternoon, 23rd of October 1993, and the IRA left involved in the chip shop in 1998. Over the right hand side you can see the small garden of remembrance. Most working class areas in Northern Ireland have these gardens of remembrances. Coming up on the right hand side, the Queen Mother. Have a look at her eyes. Some people think maybe the artist was on the gin and tonic, or maybe she was on the gin and tonic, we're not too sure. Some people say she looks like Camilla, and I'm saying nothing. Down to the left hand side of the bus you will see the Union flag. Here you will see a permanent arch for the 36th Ulster Division. Now I know a lot of armies took part in the Battle of Somme. I'm just pointing out that from this particular road 7,000 men went to that battle from this area, and on the first day 77 of them were left standing. Back over your right shoulder there's another mural for the UBF. Down to the far right here you have 50 years for the Queen. Over in the far left you have the 9 soldiers who were awarded the Victoria Cross. Coming up on the right hand side you'll see another one that's actually a brand new one, just went up a couple of weeks ago, and this is for the Bay Barlow Bar, which was blown up in 1975. You can see, folks, how loyal this particular road is to the royal family and the crowd. Without question, it would be. There wouldn't be any other road in Great Britain that would be more loyal to the crown than this area. So down to your right hand side there you'll see the brand new mural of the flags for the Bardo Bar. Coming up on the left hand side there's a wee chocolate shop. Have a look what it actually sells as we go past. You've heard of Blackpool Rock breaks your teeth. Shankill Road Rock breaks your legs. At the Iceland here, look to your right hand side, you'll see more murals here. You'll see one there for the 4-step in 1971, the Bay Barlow Bar in 1975, Mountain Hill Tavern, and the very bottom right hand corner one is the Fidel's Fish and Chip Shop. You can see what this road's like at the moment, folks. It's a busy morning this morning. On a Saturday it's more equally busier than this. So you can just imagine what the state of this road would have been if that bomb actually went off. There was many hundreds of people very badly injured. As you go through the traffic lights, look back at your right shoulder. There you'll see another mural for the UDF. Down to your left hand side, have a look at the street on your left, have a look at the name of it, and have a look at the number on the building sitting at the street corner. Downing Street, I wonder who lives at number 10. There you see more murals for the UDA, Ulster Defence Association, UFF Ulster Freedom Fighters, and UYM Ulster Young Militants. Now I'm from Belfast, folks, and I still get mixed up with all these different murals, so don't worry if you get mixed up. People in these areas will understand if you do make a mistake. Don't worry, you're perfectly safe if you do make a mistake. We're just about to go on down the Shankill Road, and then we're going to turn off the Shankill onto Townsend Street, and this will bring us over onto the falls. However, there is one organisation that I haven't mentioned which still does exist on this road, and I feel it's my duty, my obligation to point this out to you. We are about past our headquarters, and I just ask everybody to please put their cameras away. Put their cameras away at this point. I don't want them to see us staring in. And it is of course over here on your right hand side, and it is KFC, probably responsible for more deaths than the troubles itself. He put his camera away like an idiot. And it's run by some dude called the Colonel. So if you get yourself a bargain bucket tonight, folks, chuck it away. We're going to take you through the peace line here at Townsend Street. And these gates close every night at 6 o'clock and remain closed. And tomorrow night they will close, being the weekend, and they will remain closed until Monday morning. The reason these gates are closed is because during the height of the Troubles, there's 26 streets run between the Shankill Road and the Falls Road. And we had what was known here as the tit-for-tat shootings. Simply somebody from the Shankill Road could have driven through one of these side streets onto the Falls Road, shot somebody dead. The next night somebody from the Falls Road could have driven back along one of these streets, and that's why the gates were actually put back. And that put an end to the tit-for-tat shootings. That's where you would have had a permanent police and army checkpoint over Millfield there on the left hand side, and anybody wishing to get to the Shankill or Falls Road would have had to go through the police and the checkpoint. Just over on the right hand side, this little street, Finn Square, I want you to have a wee look down it to the right and look above the roof of the houses, and there you will see how high the peace line actually is. And this is in people's back gardens. The kids on this side of the street don't know what the kids on the other side of the street look like. It stands at 70 feet. The block of flats that you can see in front of us, this is Divis Tower. When the British Army was called onto the streets of Northern Ireland, the British Army took over the top 2 floors of this building so that they could watch over both sides of the community from the top of this tower. When they did come into Northern Ireland, they thought they were going to be here for 2 weeks. It was known as Operation Banner, and they were here for over 38 years. The last of the British Army moved out the stroke of midnight of July 31st of last year. Coming up on the right hand side you have Percy Street, on the left hand side you have St Congo's Primary School. Have a look under the windowsills, you can see all the bullet holes around the school. There was a 4.5-hour gun battle took place there, and that's when the people of Northern Ireland said enough is enough, get the British Army. Down to your right hand side we have the International Wall. First one is of Liam McCarthy of the GAA. Second one hands on Cuban stuff and gives you some vision. The next two are brand new ones, the Spanish Civil War, Martin Meekin, a Republican who died a few months ago, the Black Taxi Association, President Bush getting it again, sucking all the oil out of Iraq with the British support out in the middle. Don't you think they've got his eyes just right? The next two are brand new ones, Manchester Martyrs. The black and white one you mightn't understand, that's to do with the bombing of Guernica in the Spanish Civil War. There you can see the pain on the people's faces and the agony of the animals' faces as well. Frederick Douglass stopped the slave trade coming into Ireland here. The next two are brand new ones. We've got Galway Prisoners, Not Forgotten. The Palestinian one here you can see We Will Return. And the very last one is of Kieran Nugent. The only way he would wear a peasant uniform is if he were to nail him to his mast. And coming up next on the left hand side you will see another small garden of remembrance, and this time if you look at the railings you will see the letter D, and this is for D Company of the IRA, the Irish Republican Army. Through there at the back you can see the marble wall, and there you can see the names of the volunteers who lost their lives during the troubles here. Coming up next, on the right hand side you'll see the blue and white mural for the 10 hunger strikers. You can actually see 11 people in the mural itself. The one at the very middle at the top, this is Misha Eyre, Mother Ireland, and these men are seen as the sons of Ireland. There you can see at the top of the mural it says Sorsha, and that translated into English means freedom. 10 hunger strikers were. 1981, Bobby Sands was the first hunger striker to die. 1981, Bobby Sands, he was 27 years of age. He was 66 days on hunger strike. He was voted into County Tyrone and Fermanagh as an MP, though he never took his seat in Westminster, nor did he ever have to take the oath that other MPs have to take. And that is on the side wall of the Sinn Féin headquarters, the press office. And Sinn Féin translated into English means ourselves alone. Quite often we would see Jerry Adams or Mark McGuinness coming in and out of the headquarters here. And as we go past the headquarters, if you look above the front doors, you will see the plaques on the wall. The very last plaque was Marion Drummond, the lady I told you about, who was shot dead in the Belfast hospital. The first three that you can see there, they were actually 3 councillors. What happened was, a policeman was shot dead in Belfast. His best friend who could take his policeman. He drove up here, shot down a councillor inside, walked inside, shot down 2 more councillors, went back to his own house, got his wife, drove to a small provincial town outside of Belfast, shot his wife dead, and then shot himself dead. Down to the left hand side, we have Dunville Park, just referred by the local park in this people as the Wee Park. And it was very kindly given to us by our Scottish friends on the promise that we would never build any houses on it. Guess what? We kept the promise. But there in the middle you can see a fountain. And this fountain used to be covered in the most beautiful royal Doulton tiles that you could ever see. And apparently one windy night they all blew away. Now I'm not saying anything about the people in this area. I've no problems with the people in this area. But it is said that they do have some of the most beautiful fireplaces that you will ever see. Coming up next on the right hand side you will see, further on up the road, about another 100 yards up the road on the right hand side, you will see a Chinese takeaway. It's called the Ruby Emerald. It used to be a home bakery, and this is where Bill Clinton, he stopped his cavalcade on the Shankill Road, went into a bakery there and said hello to the ladies on the Shankill Road. And he did the same with the ladies over here on the Falls Road. And when he went into Macker Lane's, the bakery, who did he actually bump into? Jerry Adams. And that's where the two men, that's where you first seen the two men actually shaking hands for the very first time. And that's where you saw it flash all around the world on your television screens. So that's the Ruby Emerald over on the right hand side. Personally speaking, if it had been mine, I would have kept it as a home bakery. And it just simply would have changed the name to something like Monica's Box or something like that. Now, once we go through the traffic lights here, you can't unfortunately see it at the moment, but if you look over to the left hand side, once you get up to the traffic lights, I want you to look at the blue railings and you'll see the face of an image of an old man. Can you all just see that? Coming into view just down to the left here. Well, this fence, believe it or not folks, if you look very closely at this fence, it weaves in and out at you like this, and That is to do with a strand of DNA in the human body. If you look at the top and the bottom of the railings, you will see the X and Y yellow chromosomes. Keep looking at the face of the old man here, as you can see down in the street corner. And as we go along, the image of this man gets younger and younger and younger. And that's to do with the passage of life, the strand of DNA. Now, I don't think there's anybody in this bus wouldn't disagree with me. Every hospital in the world needs every single penny it can get. Would anybody like to have a guess at how much those that pence cost? It runs right the whole way around the hospital. Try and tell me with any hospital that couldn't do with £1.5 million. That's what it costs. Believe it or not, this is a medium proof. That was an answer to a question. Be very permissive of me if I didn't mention Professor Pantridge, who works in the hospital, or used to work in the hospital. And this is the man who invented the defibrillator. If anybody's ever unfortunate enough to have a heart attack, this is the machine that gives your heart the electric shock to try and get it going again. And he did this in conjunction with a couple of students from Queen's University and the University of Ulster. And believe it or not, they were messing about with a couple of car batteries when they discovered this, and that's how they discovered it. But thankfully now, most ambulances throughout the world have the portable defibrillator. Something that we're very proud of here in Belfast, as it has saved many thousands of lives throughout the world. You're just going to have to bear with us, folks. It looks like we're heading into a wee bit of traffic. Unfortunately, there is a cemetery just up the road here. I have a funny feeling that it may be a funeral taking place, so if it is, the speech of the respect, I switch the microphone off for a minute or two. Over on the right hand side we have St Donimick's. This is where the President of Ireland, Mary McAleish, where she actually went, this is the school she went to. Something else that the school is very proud of, as she's now also into her second term. Now again, just look down to your left there and you can see the image of the faces getting younger as we go along. You can see the first one, he was old, wearing a pair of glasses, and it's slowly getting younger and younger. People in this area, folks, people in Shankill don't want to see themselves as British. They want to remain British and stay with the British. The people in this road would want to be Irish and remain Irish. That's why you'll see a lot of the street names. If you look at these street names as we go by, you'll see a lot of the street names are in Irish and English. Some of the kids giving us a wee wave, give them a wee wave back. I did a private tour yesterday, folks, and just to let you see how well we are moving on here in Northern Ireland. The kids I was doing, they were about 6 years or 7 years of age, and when we brought them all around this area, it was amazing, because so many kids asked me, what were you fighting about? You know, what's the point? It was absolutely fantastic to see a small group of kids, and it was mixed kids. It wasn't just one side of the community or the other. See, you know, if you had said to anybody you're coming to Belfast here 15 years ago, you just wouldn't have came here. Northern Ireland was really on its knees. But as you can see by driving around today, the samples of businesses coming into Belfast. I mean, even if you just look across our skyline there to the left, over in the far left there you can see cranes working away, and it's great to see so much investment coming in, particularly into Belfast itself. Yes, in most areas the children, this young lady's just asked me a question, if the kids are educated separately. Yes, they were educated separately. This, the likes of this school over on the right hand side, this would have been a Catholic school. So most people in this area would have wanted their children educated in this school. But thankfully today we have now what we call an integrated system here, and it's where children from all sorts of sides in the community all go to the one school, and that's why they're actually getting on so well now, because from a very young early age they're growing up together and learning together and working together. So thankfully an awful lot of schools now throughout Northern Ireland are integrated schools. Just when we get up past the bus shelter, or 100 yards or so on the left hand side, and that, if you look behind, now this one's quite hard to see, but if you do look behind the bus shelter, don't know why they put the bus shelter there, because it absolutely spoils my what I told you. But that's where you'll see the image of the face of the baby. You really see the size of the image of the wee baby. And that's the entrance to the Children's Hospital just down to the left hand side. This is where all the regular costumes people walk the water, I believe have it. But if you were to go on up about another 2 miles up the road, that's where you come to Milltown's cemetery. And that's where you can go up and you can have a look if you wish and see the IRA burial ground if you want to do that. But there's also another very famous man buried in the graveyard. And this is the man who actually invented the crossword puzzle. And he's the third grave down on the 6th one across. We have Queen's University. Again, Charles Lanyon, the architect. Do walk past the War Memorial here at the front. Walk through the front doors on the left hand side. That's where you'll see the Norton Gallery. Gallery. It is very, very beautiful in there. Again, if we can see this building from the air, it is shaped in the letter E, which is for education. Just past the Queen's University, the other building, this is the musical part of the university. And all those houses you can see to the far right hand side are the lecture rooms. All these houses down to your left hand side as well, these are all lecture rooms as well. Have a look at these wee brown doors here on your left. Notice anything about them? No door handles, no doorbells, no door keys. How on earth do you get in? Well, the back door is actually around the front. It was quite funny when you see all the students coming over here to these lecture rooms, banging on the front door and kicking it and everything. We have to shout down at them. Around the back, mate, that's going to be your future doctors and lawyers and your nose. Look down this street here to the right hand side. And look on the left hand side, you can see the houses here on the left. That's an actual false front of the houses there. You can see the houses behind. There's an entry runs along that. When Queen Victoria came to Belfast here, we didn't want her actually seen in the people's houses, in the people's backyards, or seeing their washing, as you might speak. But so that wall was actually specially constructed. If you walk down that street and you turn up the entry, you can actually, it's quite amazing, so it is to actually see it. But just while we're at the lights there, I thought I'd point it out to us. Lots of things like that in Belfast we have here. You can stand, you're trying to figure out what you are. That's why that one was specially built. Coming up on the right hand side you have the Crescent Church. Notice the spire is built to, it's not in the centre of the church, it's built to one side. And this started off a new trend here in a lot of churches. Another church on your left hand side has the same thing, the spire not in the centre of the church. Down to your left hand side, the smallest park in Belfast. And it said that this is where King William rested his horses and his men before going down to Drogheda for the Battle of the Boyne in 1690. Have a look over to your right hand side, there's another little noodle bar I want you to have a look at. Have a look at the name, just right now. Down to the left hand side you have Benedict's. It's certainly a very fine hotel. I was certainly winding down there, very reasonably priced. And over to the right hand side you have Lavery's Gin Palace, which claimed to sell up to 8 pints of Guinness a day. Oh, sorry, 1,000 pints of Guinness a day. I think I had a few of this in. But you cannot believe it when you see some of the students with the beer bellies on them. The bank that you can see in front of you, the Ulster Bank, the two statues that you can see, I call this overdraft and underdraft. This is the bank that actually commissioned the George Best £5 notes. If you do come to Ireland circulation, if you do come into one, don't be doing what a Scottish man did, sign George Best's signature and sold it for £100. You don't do it now, you see that. Coming up on On the right hand side, the big grey building. This has been voted the ugliest building in Belfast. 38 years of blowing up buildings and nobody even thought to blow it up. All these buildings that you can see around you folks, that you can see the billboards here at the likes of these ones on your right, down here to your left. This is where all government buildings would have been. Unfortunately during the Troubles they were all blown up. And you can see now the police started to move down. Behind these colours to the left you can see Des Hotel, the largest hotel in Belfast. And in contrast to that, over to the right hand side, the Baptist Church, Great Victoria Street Baptist Church. Look at the wee brown door beside it, the smallest, Belfast's smallest house, just down behind that double decker. See the wee brown door with the two windows? And the caretaker lives there with a white 11-year-old cat flying dogs. And look at the right side, he doesn't have a donkey. Over to the left hand side, the Europa Hotel, the most bombed hotel in Europe. 39 bombs actually went off in here. And if you look down to the left hand side, the Opera House, you can see the difference in the new brickwork and the old brickwork. There was a bomb on top down Glenwall Street there in 1972, practically wiping out the wall of the Opera House. Now this is not a joke folks, guess what was being shown when the bomb actually went off? Chitty chitty. If you do get the chance to go into the Opera House folks, the acoustics are absolutely fantastic. Does anybody know what the acoustics are? Sound? No. It's what a ballerina farmer brings a cows home with. Don't worry, the tour's nearly over, folks. Over to the right hand side, beautifully lit up by the sunlight, we have the Presbyterian Assembly Halls. Unfortunately, it's a church house. Of course, as you can see, Spire Shopping Mall has had to buy it over. There is one office now still belonging to the church outside the building. And the reason why they had to sell it off, if you look down to the right, you can see the yellow door down there. See the yellow door? Look above the door, and you can see how much the building actually subsides. You can see the way it's subsiding there. And that it was actually sinking, and unfortunately they had to sell the church off. They couldn't afford to pay for it otherwise. Directly in front of us, we're coming into Wellington Place, named after the Duke of Wellington, born just outside of Dublin, came to Belfast and later went on to the Prime Minister Hall. Coming down Wellington Place on the right hand side, we will have the City Hall. Beside the City Hall, we have the Northern Bank. This is where the £26.5 million robbery took place without a single gunshot even being fired. But even the English couldn't let us be the biggest bunch of thugs. They had to go more better with the £55 million robbery down in Kent. But Martin and me are having a look at the bank here on the left to the Lions of Leicester, and hopefully Monday morning we'll be sitting out at the office. Down to the right hand side we have the City Hall. Unfortunately it's closed for the next 2 years. It's over 100 years old and it has to have a lot of construction work carried out on it. Do go over beside where the big wheel is. That's where you will see the only statue in memory of the people who lost their lives when the Titanic actually went down. You can stand beside the memorial and you see Thomas Andrews' name, the captain's name and all on it. Unfortunately, all of the people's names who went down, the book is actually inside the City Hall with their names in it. Again, folks, the City Hall is very beautiful inside to see. I do wish it was open so you can go inside and see it. But as you do go around Belfast, don't just walk along. Look up, look round you, look at the beautiful architecture we have. Like directly in front of the bus you have Robinson and Cleaver. Look above Robinson and Cleaver there, and you can see the heads of people. What these buildings did in those days, anybody who was their best customers, say you were my best customer, I would put the image of your face up on the wall as a mark of respect to you. So that's what you see those up on the wall. So down to the left hand side you have the Welcome Centre. Any information you want about Belfast, Northern Ireland, South Ireland, maps, concerts, accommodation, internet copy, that's the place to go to. So unfortunately folks, that does bring us to the end of our tour. I do hope you have enjoyed yourselves. If you have, please tell others. If not, keep it to yourselves because we couldn't care less anyway. No, if anything you'd like to say to me, please, I do like to always hear what you think about my tour and any ways that I can improve it. Can I just ask everybody, please remain seated till the bus comes to a complete stop. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Martin for getting us round nice and safely, as he always does. One thing I am going to tell you about Martin, and he doesn't like me saying this, Martin is married, 3 children, 6 mistresses, and 6 starving greyhounds to feed. So if you'd like to throw a wee penny in his basket, I'm sure he would take it nicely too. So thank you for choosing Sightseeing Tours Belfast, and thank you for choosing Belfast as your destination. And please come again. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. May your God be with you.